Hey everyone, it's Ahmet Kaan here. As you guys know, I am someone who wakes up really early. I really try to wake up at 5 to 6 a.m. pretty much every single day except Sunday. And in this video, I'm gonna give you my secret 5-step formula on how you can essentially wake up early and make it a habit so that you can do it consistently. But before we dive into those 5 steps, let me give you the impact this essentially formula had on me. I was always a person who really couldn't wake up early consistently. I would wake up at 5 a.m. for a couple of days, I would wake up at 6 a.m., I would sometimes wake up even at 4 a.m. a couple of days, and then after that I just wasn't able to make this habit stick. And this essentially 5-step formula helped me develop this routine, develop this essentially habit, and this 5-step formula is really going to be a game changer for a lot of you, so let's dive right into it. But of course, if you are still not subscribed to my email newsletter, the first link in the description is going to be for my email newsletter. It takes 30 seconds for you to just subscribe, and every single week you are going to get on Sunday weekly really good emails about personal development and productivity. If you enjoy my content, do not forget to subscribe. And the first step is going to be basically building yourself a nighttime routine and getting into the habit of going to bed at a certain time. As you guys know, your morning routine absolutely starts the night before. If you have a nighttime routine that you do consistently, and if you are essentially going to bed at a reasonable time, it is going to be much easier for you to wake up early in the morning and build yourself a morning routine basically that will be consistent. So when you have a nighttime routine, it's going to be much easier for you to create yourself a morning routine. You can of course do whatever you want to do in your nighttime routine. You can, for example, read, journal, meditate, affirmations, visualize. You can do all of those habits, but there's one habit that you have to do in your nighttime routine, and this will be a game changer, and that is planning the next day before. And I'm going to explain to you why this is incredibly crucial in the next couple of steps. But another thing that we have to mention here is basically getting a reasonable amount of sleep. You have to get 8 hours of sleep if you want to function properly at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. if you want to wake up that early. So the step 1 is basically building yourself a nighttime routine and sticking to that essentially relentlessly. And the step 2 is going to be basically 2 different tricks that you can use when you are waking up early, because as you know, when you wake up early, it's generally like you're groggy, you just want to go to bed again, and these tricks are essentially going to prevent you from doing that. And the first trick that I use basically every single day is placing my alarm clock to the other side of the bed so that I would have to, for example, get up and do a couple of steps until I get to my alarm clock and turn it off. This will essentially prevent you from just, for example, using your phone in the morning as your alarm clock and then just going to bed again without even realizing. And the second trick is basically putting a glass of water next to your alarm clock, which should be full right now, but I already drank the most of it, and drinking your 1 glass of water right after you wake up, after essentially turning off your alarm clock. And the reason why is your body is already dehydrated from sleeping 7-8 hours. You haven't been drinking water for a long time, and that means your body is already dehydrated. At the same time, you are going to be able to just wake up a little better. You're just going to be able to not be groggy that much, and these are 2 different tricks that you can use in the morning to essentially just wake yourself up. And the third step is going to be, of course, building yourself a morning routine, but there are different things that you have to essentially focus on here. The first one is, of course, the fact that you have to be consistent. If you're just going to do different morning routines in the morning every single day, it's just not going to work. So decide yourself a morning routine. And the next thing that I have to mention here is your morning routine should be enjoyable. You should add one thing that is essentially something that you enjoy to your morning routine, because I know for a fact that a lot of people are just starting with the most important task, and that is important, of course, but if you hate your morning routine, then you're not going to be consistent. So my suggestion is just add one habit that you personally really enjoy to your morning routine, and that will make you look forward to your morning routine, essentially. And the last thing that I have to mention when it comes to step 3 is basically the planning mode and the robot mode. And the difference between those is basically this: when you are in the planning mode, you basically plan, you don't execute, but when you are in the robot mode, you basically execute. And when you wake up in the morning, you have to be in the robot mode, in the execution game. You just have to, for example, get started with the first task all the way to the last one. So you just have to get things done, not think about, for example, planning in the morning, wake up already with a morning routine and a plan that you have to just execute on. And the fourth step is going to be basically make this change a non-negotiable challenge for yourself. Find someone, this might be a friend, this might be someone you met online, this might be even someone in this comment section, and do this challenge with them. For example, do this for 30 days straight and become accountability buddies with that person. You can essentially, for example, take a selfie every morning and say, okay, I woke up, I am gonna get to work, and you can essentially do different check-ins like this, and this will be really motivating because you have that accountability that you need. At the same time, this will basically turn into a game, so it's gonna be also pretty enjoyable. And I can promise you that if you turn this into an non-negotiable challenge, this month will be definitely a month that you will remember in the future. And when it comes to the fifth step, I have to tell you basically a story. And that story is basically this. A couple of months earlier, I had my school exams and I had to study for them. At the same time, I wanted to continue making YouTube videos. So I had to wake up really early in the morning to get my YouTube work done so that I will be able to, for example, study throughout the day to essentially get good grades in my exams. So if you are waking up early for the sake of waking up early, if you are waking up early because it's kind of cool, then you are definitely not going to be consistent in this. But if you are waking up early because it's just something that you have to get things done, then you are definitely going to be essentially consistent. That is exactly why the fifth step is going to be basically finding your why. Because when you find your why, this is going to be absolutely the most powerful thing that's going to be a whole different game changer. So don't wake up early because it's just something cool. Wake up early because it's a part of your lifestyle, because you are someone who would be able to put in the work while others are sleeping. Make this a lifestyle essentially change. So yes, exactly, this is my 5-step formula that I developed in the last couple of months, maybe in 1 year. I would say that I personally use pretty much every single day when I wake up early, because it is really a game changer. I hope you got some value out of this video, and again, if you're not subscribed to my email newsletter, link in the description down below and also pinned in the YouTube comments. I will see you in the next video. Bye.